The Allure of the Seas is the cheapest way to get on an Oasis class ship in 2025, and in this video we're going to be going over a full review of entertainment, food, and other things that are important on the Allure of the Seas. If you like videos like this one, I invite you guys to subscribe. We're giving away a cruise to 4 people when we hit 10,000 subscribers, and it's right around the corner, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by subscribing. The Allure of the Seas launched in 2010 and holds around 6,800 passengers and has a little under 2,400 crew members. This floating Oasis, Oasis class, has 25 restaurant and dining options and 20 bars. When you first get to the port of Miami where this ship is docked, you go to one of the coolest terminals that I've ever seen, and I am talking through the entire cruise industry. This terminal is exciting. Let's talk about the boarding process because it is probably one of the quickest and easiest boardings I've ever done. I'm saying as soon as you pull up in your car, it's maybe about 10 to 15 minutes from dropping your bags off to getting on board the ship, which is an insanely quick time. I will say, make sure you do have your passport handy because that is the one thing that can hold some people up. But for the most part, security is a breeze. Unlike other cruise lines, SeaCape cards or sailing sign or whatever you want to call them, cards are not issued at the terminal, but they are in your little mailbox once you get to your room. Royal Caribbean, like many other major cruise lines, believes in the virtual muster stations now. So the muster station takes about 30 seconds maximum. You can watch or not watch, if you decide to go that way, the safety video, and then you can go right to your muster station. Luckily, you can actually go to the muster station before you're supposed to watch the video, and it is quick and easy. We got really lucky. Ours was on the Royal Promenade, and we boarded on the Royal Promenade. So from dropping off our bags to finishing the muster drill, it was about 16 minutes. So in this review, I definitely want to talk about the first day because these sailings are pretty much just 3 and 4 day sailings. And I think it's important to maximize your time on board. So I feel like boarding day needs to be done correctly. This ship is massive, and if you have never done an Oasis class or Royal Caribbean cruise before, I highly recommend watching a tour of this ship. We have one linked below, or any other tour will do. But you should definitely familiarize yourself with this ship because I was a little lost when I first got on board. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. On embarkation day, all of the dining venues are really crowded because not every dining venue is open, and there is a flood of 6,000 people trying to get food all at once because nobody ate before they got on board because they want to maximize their vacation. And because of that, there's some places that not everyone knows about. So for this pro tip, I'm going to give it to you guys in the adults only area. Sorry, this one's for the 18 and ups. There is a very small buffet in the solarium adults only area, and no one really knows about it and no one really goes to it. And on the first day, it is a lifesaver. You can go to this buffet. They do have mostly the same offerings as the Windjammer, which is the full buffet, but because of the size, it can't have everything that the Windjammer offers. If you need to find a place to set your bags down before you're able to check into your rooms, this is a great spot to go. And while we're talking about food, let's review the food because when you're on vacation, that is probably everyone's main priority, is usually food, what they're gonna eat for their entirety of their vacation. We had anytime dining and we were led to believe that we could truly dine anytime. The main dining rooms open at 5 and they stop seating at 9. However, we found out that the anytime dining room is only open from 7 to 9. So make sure that when you're planning shows, when you're booking things, you are not planning to eat dinner at 5 or 6 p.m. because you will only be able to eat starting at 7 p.m., which is news that kind of shocked us on the first night because we had a show planned for 8 o'clock and we went to the main dining room at 6, knowing that usually dining takes about an hour to an hour and a half. And we went to the dining room at 7 o'clock and we had to wait for a couple of minutes because the dining room just opened. So we were probably seated around 7:15. Thankfully, Royal Caribbean does have incredible service, and as soon as the waiter came to take our drink orders, they asked us if we had any shows coming up, and we said, yeah, we have a show in about 45 minutes, and I don't know if you could work a miracle, but we greatly appreciate it if you could expedite our service. And I have to say, the staff was absolutely incredible. They were able to get us our drinks, our apps, and our entrees all within 45 minutes, which if you know, that is almost unheard of. They did a great job prioritizing us. We just had a small communication as soon as we sat down, and it really made the night a lot smoother for us. They were bringing dessert, but it was literally 7:59, and we were like, we have to get to a show, and they asked if they could give it to us in a to-go box. I said that we weren't going to be in our room for another couple hours, so it wasn't worth it, but thank you guys so much. And I have to say that was just a testament. Every meal that we had in the main dining room, we just asked for the same waiter over and over again because they were so incredible. And that is another thing. If you are liking the people who are serving you on the first day, you can make a request when you go to check in the main dining room to be seated at that same. That goes just for the anytime dining. If you have your seated time dining, you will be seated with the same waiters for the entirety of your vacation. I do have to say the first day on the main dining room, the menu is a little bit boring, but it gets a lot better for the rest of the cruise. Some real standouts over the course of the few days that we were on the Allure of the Seas was the chicken cordon bleu. Usually when you get fried foods in main dining rooms, they do get a little bit soggy because they have them covered to retain their heat. But I have to say it was some of the crispiest chicken I've ever had, and it was one of the best dishes I ever had on any cruise line. I'm talking Celebrity, Carnival, MSC, Cunard. It was up there with the best meal I've ever had on a cruise ship. I also have to say the beef tenderloin, which was an absolute knockout. It was cooked perfectly, it was tender, it was seasoned well, it had a great taste, it tasted super fresh. Just everything about it was absolutely incredible in the main dining room. You will not be disappointed. And there are tons of specialty dining venues on board the Allure of the Seas. But honestly, if you don't want to pay the extra money, you will be totally fine in the main dining room. We tried breakfast in a few different venues. We went to the Windjammer, which had a really vast selection. They had plenty of things like avocado toast, an omelet station, a rotating carving station. They had tons of options. But for something quick and easy, because the Windjammer did get a little crowded, sometimes you have to wait in a line to get a spot because, again, this ship does have so many people. This was one of the biggest ships in the entire world a couple years ago. So there is a lot of people on board this ship, and they all do tend to flock to the Windjammer for breakfast. Royal Caribbean does a good job to help spread the crowd. Like Johnny Rockets has a free breakfast. The Park Cafe has free breakfast, and I have to say they have some extremely fresh fruit. If you are into that, their fruit was really ripe, and it didn't taste like it was sitting or it was ready to be ripe in a few days. It was perfect for the time that they served it, and every day it was truly ripe and tasted fantastic. If you're looking to splurge a little and say you don't want to do specialty dining, Royal Caribbean doesn't have that many late night dining options. So if you're getting out of the casino late, you're going to a late show, there's really only one option, that's pizza. And if you're not really feeling that, you can do room service. Room service is a flat fee, so their menu is a set menu for late night, and you can have as many things as you want. If you order one order of chicken wings, or if you order 5 orders of hamburgers, chicken wings, cheesecake, it's all gonna be one flat price. So if you're gonna order room service, it might be beneficial to order more, and especially you could throw it in the mini fridge if you wanna save it for later. We did that for some of the desserts, and we picked on them throughout the rest of the cruise. And it was pretty nice, honestly, to have that option. And the fee is $7.95 plus 18% gratuity, but we did throw them a couple bucks for carrying all the plates because, again, we ordered like 5 things. So if you're ordering one thing, it's $7.95. If you order 10 things, it's $7.95. So do with that information what you will. Next thing that I want to talk about is entertainment. And I have to say, the Royal entertainment staff is fantastic. Compared to other cruise lines, there are certain things that I would put against Royal Caribbean, like I didn't really see our cruise director one time, and if you go on other ships like Carnival, you will definitely know who your cruise director is and have interactions with them. I heard our cruise director just basically make announcements. I didn't really see them at any of the parties. And another thing that you might not be used to if you're not used to sailing Royal Caribbean is book the shows ahead of time. There are, again, 6,800 people on these ships, and there's only so many shows. So the good shows and the good time slots for those shows do go quickly. I looked at the shows when we were 3 weeks out from our sailing, and the main times, like the 8 p.m.s for the aqua show, were already gone. So I had to settle for a 10 p.m. aqua show. So be diligent, check frequently if you can book your show on the Royal Caribbean website, and do so as fast as you possibly can. Booking these shows are free if you're not familiar with how Royal Caribbean works. When I say book them, it basically just reserves you a seat. So that way they're ensuring that every person that has a ticket booked, there is a seat for that person. And that is really nice. It's kind of hard to just fly by the seat of your pants when you're trying to do a vacation like that on Royal Caribbean because, again, all the cool shows are usually booked out. And with that being said, make sure you check out the Aqua show. The ice skating show is fantastic and the comedians are really good. If you like comedy, there are two types of shows. There is a comedy venue and then there is comedy in the main theater. And I do have to say, the comedian that's currently on board does a lot of crowd work. So the shows in the theater, it's a little bit different because it's not as intimate of a venue. When you're in the comedy club, it's definitely a lot easier for the comedian to work the crowd because you can see them, they don't have stage lights in your face. So I'd recommend, if you're gonna do a comedy show, try to get into the comedy club venue and not the one in the main theater. Also, they have Mamma Mia running right now, and I have to say, if you do like Mamma Mia, it is very good. It is a full show though. Let me say this, it is a full show with an intermission. It's about 2.5 hours, closer to 3, I think, with the intermission. So it is a long show, and just know what you're signing up for. So if you're booking it for 10 p.m., just know you're not getting that show until like midnight, maybe even closer to like 1. So just be wary of that. But I do have to say, the vocals from the cast were absolutely on point. They sounded great. The sets were really good. It was basically a Broadway production show, and I know a lot of people say they have Broadway production shows, but this was truly like an elevated show. It wasn't just a screen with some cast kind of just talking back and forth. Like, they really put a lot of effort into the show, and I can't say that about a majority of cruise lines. Another highlight of entertainment was the 70s night on the Royal Promenade. The thing with having an event on the Royal Promenade is that it is so spread out. So you do have like the entertainment squad wearing the fun wigs with the bell-bottom pants, shiny shirts, and they're on an elevated surface, like they're on all above us, and they do a balloon drop. They're just playing 70s music, everyone's dancing. But when it comes to the crowd below, it's a little bit harder because it is so spread out that some people are dancing, but a majority of people are just standing around, or people are looking to find the dance floor in the Royal Promenade. And it's a little awkward. It's not like there's a designated dance floor. So for that, I give the 70s party like you could miss that and it wouldn't really impact your vacation too much. Let's talk about the accommodations on board. We stayed in an ocean view that overlooked not the ocean, but Central Park, and it was really nice. I have to say that the bed is super comfortable. It is probably one of the comfiest beds that I've ever stayed on through hotels, cruises, resorts. It was very, very comfortable, which is always nice to say. Another thing that I really liked in the bathroom was there was ambient lighting. So if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you didn't have to turn on a light and be blinded. You were able just to go in. There was just some really dim lights, and that was really nice. I've only seen that on a few different cruise ships, and the fact that this ship is over a decade old just speaks to how ahead of the curve Royal Caribbean usually is when they're building their ships. There was tons of space in our room. There was tons of drawers. There had hangers in the closet. There was different storage shelves. Overall, we weren't short for space, and because this cruise is offering such short itineraries, you really don't need that many clothes when you're on board here. So you will have plenty of room to put all your stuff. And another thing in the room, you can cast from your phone to the TV. We did that a few times. So if you just want to watch your app, so if you have the Wi-Fi package and say you just want to watch YouTube off your phone, or you want to watch TikTok, or you want to hang out on Instagram or Facebook, you can cast your phone to the TV. If there's not something they have like Hulu or Netflix, you can cast it to the TV and watch it. It's really nice to have that, so you don't have to rely strictly on what they're offering on their entertainment channels or TV channels. You can do whatever you want off your phone, which is really cool. All right, let's talk about some miscellaneous stuff. Because this is a shorter cruise itinerary, this is definitely a booze cruise, and I cannot emphasize that enough. The staff knows it's a booze cruise. People are loud. They are out to have fun. They are drinking. Luckily, it wasn't any fights while I was on board, but even just talking to the bartenders, they were like, yeah, we get it. Do you want a double or a triple? They weren't even asking if you wanted like weak drinks, because they knew that you were here for a good time, not a long time, and that definitely is the case for the bartenders. They treat you like you are just on a cruise ship ready to party, and it's nice if that's what you're looking for. But if you like to take it easy, relax, and just have like a chill cocktail by the pool, this one might be a little different for you. The main pool areas, there was definitely music pumping. Some days it was definitely more upbeat than other days, But for the most part, there was pretty lively music. People were hanging out. You could bring drinks into the pool, which is really nice. If you are on the fence about getting the drink package, I do have to say that we personally found it worth it. I know that you can save a decent amount of money if you book pre-cruise, and we didn't think we were really gonna buy that many drinks to justify the drink package. So when we got on board, we did not have the drink package, but when we were in the Royal Promenade, just walking onto the ship for the first time, they had a sale where it was buy one, get one 50% off for the drink package. So for the shorter sailings, Royal Caribbean charges an arm and a leg. It was like $120 a person per day. So if you do that math, it comes out to about $80 a person per day, which isn't terrible. And because this ship does stop at Coco Cay, you can use your drink package on the island. So when you factor in basically a whole day of drinking on an island, plus your sailing times, it is pretty good. You do have to have 7 drinks to break out even from that. But if you have 7 drinks a day, I think it's worth it because you have the peace of mind. You could have milkshakes, specialty coffees, teas, all included, bottled water. So there's many things that you can get, not just alcoholic, to make it worth it. Another major highlight of the ship is the zip line going on the aft of the ship that goes down about 8 to 9 stories. It is really cool. It's a quick ride, but it is definitely thrilling. It's one of the cooler things I've ever done on any cruise ship, and I highly recommend, if you are into the thrills of life, checking out the zip line. It is free, which is really nice as well. So yeah, basically that's my thoughts on the Allure of the Seas. Overall, I think it was a great weekend vacation. It was one of the coolest ships I've ever been on, and because it is getting refitted and they're dumping a lot of money into a renovation, I think this ship is only going to get better with time. Overall, I would say the food is probably an 8 out of 10. The entertainment is about a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. When it comes to cocktails and specialty drinks, I think that Royal Caribbean could definitely be more innovative on this ship. I think that's going to be a major night and day difference when the ship gets retrofitted, when they add new bars, because they basically just had the same cocktail menu at the majority of the venues, and I personally did not like that too much. But that's it for the Allure of the Seas. My name's Kyle. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy and peace.